Hello, everybody, and welcome to 38 Weeks to Go, the interview. 38 weeks are done, and we have our champion. Please welcome Vic Nyadi, manager of Vic City. Welcome, Vic.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, so tell me, how does it feel to be the champion of our league? Just to be the champion, how does that feel?
It feels great. The league was quite close, like the Premier League itself. There was a bit of exchange of rules on top for a while.
Yeah.
Till the final 3 weeks there.
I mean, first of all, I just want to say congratulations. That 38 weeks is a long time, and you've been hovering number 1 to 4 for pretty much most of the season. And
yeah, I don't think
go on. Sorry,
I don't think I'd be number one. I don't think I'd be number one for the whole season till the last weeks actually.
Yeah, I know. For the first half, we had Leon Motia. Why are you running? He was putting pressure on you guys. He was the pacemaker, making you guys run to catch up with him. He was trying to build up a lead, but it didn't last too long.
Well, it did. It actually did, just not the right time. He dipped at the wrong time.
It's true, but it just goes to show how hard it is to win one of these seasons.
Yeah.
What was like, I guess now that we've had a whole season, what was your strategy at the beginning, and how did that change over the season?
Oh, I think my strategy was just to be consistent first. Make sure you don't miss any game weeks without making the changes you want to make. So I think what I used to do a lot was like after a game week, just after a game week itself, I'd change my team to what I'd want it to be for the next week. Like maybe if you have like a different captain change, a different captain that you want for the next week, I'd change that immediately before I even do like any of the transfers, so that if by any chance I didn't manage to change the team, I'd have already like set it up the best way possible the team already have. So just trying to make sure that every game week.
So you weren't waiting for injuries or anything like that? You were just like, this is what I want to do next week, and you just do it?
No, basically like there's the team you already have, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the fixtures for the next week are not favorable for, let's say, your captain or the guys who are playing, and the guys who are on the bench are the ones you want to play. So those are the changes that make fast. Like most of the time, like just after the game week or in the middle of the week, because you have to wait for the transfer news to make like the final transfer changes. But I just make sure like my team is a bit set as it is, basically, so that if I get overwhelmed and forget to change the team that I put out for that week is at least a team that is the best team that I have, basically. You know how you can forget to change your team and you have like 30 points on the bench? That's the scenario I was trying to avoid, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listening to that, and it's very clear that, you came up to take the lead in game week 35. And from that point, you never let go. But ahead of him at that time was Alexander Mutune, who was the manager of Don't Bottle It. And he bottled it that week. That's when he stopped making transfers to his, I think just the week before. He forgot to make his team. And I
actually didn't think I'd catch it.
Yeah, he slipped up. And if he had done what you're saying, where at the end of the game week, just have it prepared for the next game week, I think that because what you're talking about is consistency, basically.
So consistency, basically. Like you see, like you mess up one game week, it's something you're chasing like the whole campaign, basically.
Yeah, that's true. So did your strategy have to change at any point during the season, or was it just this is what you did the whole way through?
What I also used to do for this campaign was try and react to changes like fast, basically. Like let's say, okay, the one that I didn't manage to react quite quickly was maybe keeping Haaland for quite some time and captaining him for quite some period when Palmer was the guy who was performing. But I think I reacted very well to other changes you get.
Yeah.
Like when you see someone is not performing, you look around, see who else is performing, who's in form, and try to switch that player up faster so that you're not lagging behind because you're holding players who are not performing. Yeah.
Just being aware and just trying to be aware of the changes that are happening and being brave enough to believe that what you're seeing is true.
Yeah, true. I think there was the Salah period where he dipped.
Oh yes, especially after
I'm sure there even guys who still finished. Yeah, the guys who still finished the campaign with him. So they lost a lot of points just having him because he wasn't performing.
And it was expensive.
Especially, considering how much he cost. So if you sold him, you probably have changed your team entirely because of the cash that was made available.
That's true. And also, I think something that was, I'm not going to say unique about this season, but it felt unique that there were a lot of budget midfielders that were performing.
Yeah, like I think
starting with Palmer, of course.
Yeah, there was Palmer, there was Gordon.
Oh yes, Gordon was
immense. Gordon was quite huge.
Yeah, Mboma before the injury.
There was a time I had so much cash in the bank. I had not been in such a situation before.
You know, there was a time I looked at my bench and I had 13.0 and I was wondering, what's happening?
Yeah.
I even thought I had nobody on my bench, but that was a time when Son, Haaland, Salah were gone, and suddenly everybody was cash rich.
I still had Haaland, but I still had like a lot of cash. Like I think I finished the season with like 6.1, and I had Haaland in there. Anyway, Haaland was the most expensive. Haaland and Son. Yeah.
So who would you say were your maybe hidden gem players, like the players that really pushed you because maybe either they just performed well or you got onto them before others did?
The ones I got before others jumped on them was, I think, Gordon. And I think I had Gordon for the longest. I sold him once and brought him back. I think I had Gordon for the longest. And he used to perform, he used to bring in returns week in, week out. And then, I don't know if I can say Palmer. I think I jumped on the Palmer train a bit late, but once I got him, I held on to him for quite some time, which there's a period guys were selling him and I still had him and he was performing, so it was like a differential of some sorts. And then late in the season, I think I benefited from this defender from Man City. It's called Guardiola.
Yeah, it's Guardiola. It's very tricky. Every time I look at his name, I'm like, how do I say this? But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then I think and also jumped on the Mateta train quite late. So I jumped on him for the free hit when I played my free hit. Then again to close the season with him.
Yeah, Mateta was apparently ever since Glasner took over in around February, he's a striker who has scored the most goals in the Premier League. He scored 13 from that point on.
Yeah, he's an out-and-out number 9. I like the way he plays.
Yeah, it was. That team it finished very, very, very strongly.
Yeah, there was him, there was Eze, and then there was Olise. Yeah.
Yeah, those three.
Yeah.
Fire. Out of these players, was there any that exceeded your expectation?
Out of these players, exceeding expectation.
Like, is there a player you got and you're like, hiya, look at this guy?
Who would I say? Okay, I'm sure Palmer is at the top of the list for most guys. Like,
oh yeah,
at the beginning of the season, you would have thought he'd be he was the top player, right? This season. 244
points.
Yeah. Gordon also, and then even Isaac. I think Isaac surprised me. I didn't think he was that consistent.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he tried. he did quite well. So when this guy, the other striker they had, who's always injured, he
Wilson.
what's his name?
Callum Wilson.
Yes, Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he got injured, I wasn't quite sure like he'd be able to lead the line for those guys like that consistently. Because even him, he was also kind of injury prone, but he didn't get injured for quite some time.
That's
and
true.
Was consistently in the squad, yeah. And who else? Also Havertz, though I think I bought him like once and sold him. The time I bought him, he didn't perform. Don't like a car. Than making him not to perform.
Yeah, you know, the players, I know what you mean, because for me, I got, towards the end, I got Havertz, I got Mateta, and I got Isak, and they pleasantly surprised me. Even Solanke was money. I was really shocked. I didn't expect him to have the season that he did.
I'm sure next season it'll be like 9 million there.
But do you have a player that you regret not getting? Because for me, I'll tell you free of charge. It's Ollie Watkins. I only had Ollie Watkins for maybe 2 weeks in my team out of 38.
Wow, I had Ollie Watkins for the longest time. It was him, Haaland, and Solanke. They were leading my line for the longest time. Like between the three of them, they definitely, at least 2 of them were going to deliver in a game week.
That's true.
Yeah. For me, I think I regret not having like the Arsenal backline for quite some time. I think I bought them like towards the end because I think this season how I was playing I didn't want to play with emotions, so I never used to just buy Arsenal players.
Oh, of course, you're an Arsenal supporter.
Unless they were really like on the up and up. So by the time I was realizing about this clean sheet, they had already like maybe 5 or 6 clean sheets already. By the time I was realizing like here, and then this season the defense wasn't performing that well, especially in terms of clean sheet. Like either you get these defenders who score, who score assists, like the wing backs.
Yeah, the Trippiers, the Poros.
Yeah.
What about a guy like Foden?
Yeah, I don't know. I bought him towards the end, but he's also another guy like Sterling. Remember when I was telling you that every time I buy Sterling, he never used to perform? So I have something like that with Foden. Every time I buy Foden, he rarely performed. So actually, I've had him in my team like maybe for 3 max 4 game weeks.
Oh wow! Only?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
The spot is occupying like right now in the last game week. That's what was Salah was the one who was there mostly. Normally used to have it was Salah, Palmer, and then Son, and then who else? And then had Saka, Salah, Palmer, Son, and Saka. So every time I try slotting me, I tried KDB, also KDB. Very weird. Every time I buy him, he never performs.
Yeah, no, me, I find KDB a trap. I know he's a great player, but with him, it's either I have him the whole season starting, or nothing. Because I had to make that decision with Palmer. Every time I started Palmer, he wouldn't do anything. I put him on the bench. I think 6 weeks of starting him. He gets 2. I put him on the bench because I had a good midfield. He gets 12. I put him on the pitch. He gets 3. I put him on the bench. He gets 13.
It's clear. We had this discussion with you one of those game weeks where I told you Palmer is like a long game type of player. Just have him in your team, and when he delivers, because when he delivers, he delivers.
Yeah,
I think in the long run, it makes sense just having him.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying about KDB. When you have a player like that, you commit 100%. Like even if he's coming on in the 90th minute, he's starting because he might come on and like remember that game he came on and gave 2 assists.
I bought him after that game. Then he didn't. He didn't assist, score, nothing.
You know, that's not so bad. There's a guy called Tommy. Tommy, you remember Doku had, I think, like 4 goals and 1 assist, and he had like 30 points that game week.
Yeah.
He bought him, and I think he got 1 point the next week.
But Doku was so tricky to own because one thing was that Pep used to sub him or not start him. Like, you couldn't just be sure with what Pep would do with him. And then at times he'd start, and then because you know how the APL is, when you start, everyone is fresh, so even his dribbles were not as effective as when he comes in as a sub.
True.
And then you can't also depend on him coming in as a sub because maybe Pep won't like play him. You just couldn't know with him. He wasn't like, like Man City players, you have to be like really careful with them. You have to know like who's a consistent guy, who will always be played. Because you buy someone, then Pep decides he's not playing him.
Yeah, like I remember there was a game where KDB had a hat trick or something like that, and so people sold Foden to bring in KDB, and then KDB doesn't start the next game, but Foden does.
Yeah, Pep,
and then that kept happening, that rotation.
That's the other thing about why I never used to buy Foden, because you never know, like, Pep decides to rest him, or they would look like not in good terms with him.
Say that again?
Was it season where it looked like Pep was not in good terms with him, with Foden, or was it last season? Because he just stopped playing. I think that was last season.
I think it was last season. You know, Pep has this thing about his rotations where, I mean, it's a good thing because they end up sort of lasting the whole season. And you see Haaland, who was used the most, got injured. Him and Ederson, which is funny because they are the ones who you got used the most and they got injured. Well, apart from KDB, who got injured in the first game.
Yeah, Pep has, I don't even think it's about the players lasting. It's like he changes the strategy like in the middle or at some point so that like other teams don't know what to do.
On a weekly basis, huh?
Yeah, you were preparing for them, then now he's not there. So now you don't know what to do.
Yeah. He's a tough one to plan against. He's made the English League look like the Bundesliga.
He has and he hasn't. Like on paper, it looks like the Bundesliga, but like those titles, at least those titles were hard fought. Like when you look at the number 1 and the number 2, it wasn't as clear cut. Like if he made like a mistake at any point, the other team would have won. You get?
It's true.
Yeah.
Like it just looks bad because it's like 6 in the last 7 he has won. I mean 5 in the last. Is it 5 in the last 7?
Yeah, this guy.
No, 6 in the last 7. He's just won 4 in a row, but he has won 6 titles. 4. So 6 of the last 7. Yeah.
The only blip was the Liverpool one.
At least Klopp can say he won one.
Yeah, I think if he decides to stay in the EPL for quite some time, he might chase down the Sir Alex.
Hey, but would you guys want that? You Arsenal fans, because you know you've got this beautiful team that you've assembled, and
no, I think we can beat them actually. We just need like one more addition and replace some few guys who I always feel like they are filling up the team with the promise, but they never deliver.
Like who? Who would you change?
I'd change unpopular opinion. Smith Rowe, I'd sell him for sure. For sure, I'd sell him. Smith Rowe.
Oh, okay. You don't believe he's young and potential and all that?
He does, but he's too injury prone. It's not an issue of skill. It's an issue of consistency. He's
availability.
Yes. So him, I'd rather I just sell him. I think he's more suited to play like in the French league, maybe Bundesliga. You know, those soft league. The Premier League is not the league for him, honestly. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's shaping up to look like that. So I'd sell him and sell this other winger. It's called the guy who scored at Bournemouth last season.
Martinelli?
No, not Martinelli. He's also like...
Oh, Emil Smith, not Emil Smith Rowe, Reece Nielsen.
Yes, I'd sell him also. Those two guys would fetch good money, honestly. And then I'd sell... obviously, Nketiah has to go.
And Jesus?
No, he might keep him. Jesus would be a good squad player, not as the starting striker. Because those are the guys he needs to like replace with Syria, like a proper striker, you know, like proper, you know, when the game is tough,
yeah,
give him a chance, he scores. You need someone like that. Don't need these guys who need like four or five chances to score one.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you sell those guys and bring in like someone dependable, because you see Smith Rowe supposed to be like the alternative to like Odegaard, but he's never there. So Odegaard has to play, and when whatever Odegaard is doing is not working, so who's replacing him? Who's changing? Who's coming up to change the game for him? Then the other guy, he's supposed to be the sub for Saka, but he's not there. So Saka has to play all the time, full minutes you get.
Yeah. So basically, when depth.
Yeah, depth. Like on paper there's depth, but there's no depth because those guys don't play. And because they don't play, they won't also like get form because they don't play. Yeah. So it's rather just do away with them and bring in like proper reinforcements that you can count on. And then there's this other guy. That guy, I don't like him at all.
Who's this?
He's Arteta's pet, Fabio Vieira. Even him, shitting him out very fast.
Oh, really? You don't like him?
Nah. There's nothing he does. He assisted. He scored a few goals, assisted a few goals, but
you don't like his Ndoki?
No, he's not strong enough for the Premier League. Maybe he needs to add some weight.
You don't see him as like a Rodri version 2?
No. Rodri for Man City? Hell no. No way.
The poor man's Rodri, no?
No. He's not even close. He doesn't even have the size. Let's start with that. And if you've noticed something with this new build,
yeah,
Arteta is going for size. And if you notice, this was like the blueprint for Wenger when he built the Invincibles. Those guys were huge.
That's true.
So first have a big defense, big midfield, then a big striking force like Havertz.
Yeah,
I think why he's been so successful is yes, the situational awareness of knowing where to go, where to be, but he's also quite strong. So when he's up there with defenders, they can't push him around. You get. So that's helping the team as a whole. Like he can handle like a defender or two by himself, opening the space for other guys to come in.
Okay.
So these stories of small guys, I think the only small guys we can entertain are Saka and Trossard, and why am I forgetting his name?
Martinelli.
No, even Martinelli. Okay, Martinelli will give him one more season, but Martinelli is not small. Him, he's not small. Yeah.
Okay. Odegaard.
Yeah, and Odegaard. Those are the smallest guys I think in the team who play consistently.
Yeah. Now, there's something interesting that has happened tonight.
Yeah.
Pochettino was fired. And
I don't think they were not a good fit with Chelsea.
Oh, you don't think so?
Yeah, because like that team is so expensive. You know, like, and you can't say he lacked like players, honestly. I don't think that's an excuse he can give. Yeah, you can't say he didn't have players. He just didn't know how to use the players, or the players don't respect him. One of the two.
But now, so what do you think it takes for like a manager to succeed at Chelsea? Because nobody's going to, they're not going to beat, there's no manager that you can bring unless you bring in Pep. Unless you bring in Pep, there's nobody who you're going to bring that's going to disrupt the status quo as it is right now.
I always think like when Pochettino came, I'm sure given like the benefit of the doubt with the owners, like come in, bring in your strategy, and let's see what happens. So the problem is when you come in and you bring in your strategy and it's not working, it's not working for quite some time from the beginning. Like let's say like maybe 5 game weeks have passed and your strategy is still looking quite shaky. But if you come in with a strong strategy and people can see like whatever you're trying to do, I feel like Pochettino was in a situation like Emery, when Emery was at Arsenal. Like Emery went through the whole season, but you couldn't even tell his first team, you couldn't tell his strategy. There was no strategy basically.
Oh, he was trying to figure out who his players were.
Yeah, a whole season, a whole 2 seasons. You couldn't say like, see like how, if you look at Pep's team, you know, there's a strategy he has. There's a way he's going to play, and that's how his teams play. If you look at the Everton guy, this guy who helped them fight relegation. Yeah. There's a way he played, there's a way he assembled his team, you get?
Yeah.
They won't go like all out attack, but there's a way they are compact, and that's how they play. Like there's a system. You can see there's a system here. There's also Arteta has a system. There's a system he uses, and whether him, he was fought for so long, so many fans, like because everyone was saying, this system is not working. But you see, he stuck with his system, and luckily convinced the board that this will work. What we need is this and this.
But you see, with your team, the greatest thing your manager has been given is time. Because if he was to be judged by that one season, he would not be in the job right now.
But you see, the other thing was, what was the team he found? Let's start from there. What was the team he found? You see, like if he came in and found like the defense is there. The defense is there now. It's just for him to be in the route. Then there's like, let's say there's like a midfield. There's a midfield happening in there. Like for instance, if he went to Man U, for instance, you can't say they don't have a team. It's just that the manager there is bringing in additions that are not adding to the team. There's a way he thinks they'll play, but they come there and they don't play that too. Because even him is also another guy who can't say he wasn't given money, he wasn't given resources, he wasn't given time.
Yeah,
it's how he used his time and money, basically. Because he bought his players, he bought the players he wanted. He bought the Ajax guys. They've come in, they haven't performed the way he thought.
They're still playing at an Eredivisie level.
Yeah, like every time I see Anthony, I just laugh.
Did you see that image of him coming on against Arsenal?
You know, I saw him at the bench. I was like, what? Like this guy, what is his plan? He's seen a weakness that he's going to exploit. You know, like when you're sure I'm coming in to score goals.
Yeah. Like it's like he thought he was Messi.
Yeah, by the way, he thought he was Messi. Well, then he did nothing.
But you know what I fear the most about this Pochettino leaving?
Yeah.
It's that, you know, if you look at Man United, just like we're talking about them, Bruno Fernandes was his best version when Solskjaer was there. It's been nowhere nearly as good since Solskjaer left.
I don't feel like when Ronaldo came, it just messed his flow.
It did. And also the manager changed and also changed what they needed from him. Like, Solskjaer, he came under Solskjaer and Solskjaer had a plan for him.
Yeah.
And now if this new manager comes and decides, for example, that Nkunku or whoever, one of the 100 signings they bring in this season will be the main man after this guy scoring 244 points and being Young Player of the Year, he might just disappear. And then people will start thinking he's around at 2.
Yeah.
But the thing is that actually could be.
Yeah, maybe they should have given him one more season to bring in, like, they've given him one season to buy like 100 million player.
Yeah.
But no. But either he didn't have the freedom to buy the players he wanted. Because you see, like, the guys Chelsea bought were the guys they were chasing before he came.
Yeah, these were the Bowley signings. So I don't know how much influence Pochettino had in that. They're not his players, you know.
Yeah, they're not. Maybe he needed time. Maybe 3 seasons.
Yeah, but I guess it seems like they don't want to do that. And the thing is, Pep's contract is ending after next season. So just let Man City win.
Yeah.
They go out, and then now you challenge Arsenal. Because whoever Man City get it's not going to be Pep.
Yeah.
Unless they get Xabi Alonso, and then, oh goodness, that's another story.
Well, I don't think Xabi Alonso can manage that team.
He's too young.
Isn't that great of a coach, really?
Oh, I thought you only had one unpopular opinion today. You have 2.
Yeah.
I mean, how can somebody go unbeaten and that is not a good manager? And he doesn't even have... None of these players were players. He even let Saka go for free. Ebu, back up your statement, my friend.
No, okay, the league is in... Okay, though he went unbeaten, okay. But this is the Premier League. The Premier League is a very different league altogether.
I don't doubt that. It's true.
Here you if you don't have your things together, you get a loose 5-0 from Luton. Meaning they haven't won like during how long. Like anything can happen.
I mean, it's fair. But but then, as an Arsenal fan, how do you feel about this whole... I hear Arsenal fans being like, oh, 115 charges. This league shouldn't count because of 115 charges. How do you feel about that argument?
I feel like Everton was deducted points this season, right?
Yeah, and Nottingham Forest as well.
And Nottingham Forest, but they didn't touch City. So I just feel like it's neither here or there. I don't think anything will happen. It's not just Arsenal fans. There's so many guys waiting to be delivered for Premier Leagues. Everyone was number 2 during the There's Man U counting, I think, like 3 Premier League. There's Liverpool counting at least 1 more. There's us counting 2. So, yeah, it's not just us. It's a lot of guys waiting for those charges to come to pass. But I highly why is it taking too long? Because Everton was quite swift, 10 points very fast.
Yeah, I don't know. And they've changed the rules, the money rules. They're doing some new PSR thing that they're calling it. And so maybe they might use these rules to judge over past events. I don't know. It's maybe that's the whole reason. It's just messy. And maybe Manchester City are too rich to fail, Maybe that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now going back to fantasy, we have strayed a bit. Who was your biggest regret? I can tell you mine right now was Rashford. I had him for 6 weeks and it was too long.
Oh.
Who was your biggest regret this season? Or the biggest underperformer? You can interchange those.
Biggest underperformer. Wow. Did I have underperformer this season? Wow, I'm even struggling to get underperformer.
Oh, that's okay. It means that, you're number 1 for a reason. You chose good players. And you are mostly happy with the players you chose, and that is fine.
Yeah, I don't... you remember when I said I used to get rid of players, quite fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there isn't, one player who, stayed in my team for too long and were not performing basically. So I'm thinking that's why it's hard to pick someone up out like this guy had him for long and he didn't deliver. I used to like just cut guys out. I feel like if you didn't deliver for like 2 or 3 weeks,
gone.
Your time was definitely up.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe if I threw in De Bruyne there, maybe he might. I gave him some time. Honestly, just kept me 2 points. 2 points was here, 2 points there.
Okay, no, that's fair. And then also, on average, how much time do you think you were spending making your team per week or per game week, if that makes sense?
Per game week, not long. Like, do you remember when you asked me like what was my strategy, and I was saying I watched this YouTube channel about fantasy. Like, there's one guy, he's called FPL Raptor. So basically, like, if you watch his FPL videos, he'll start off with like all the managerial news about like the press conferences, basically about injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
So from just that podcast, you'd know who's injured, who's likely not to start. He'd have those two takes, and then he'd also have like informed guesses about saying like there's someone from this camp said that this guy was training and he's probably going to start. So at least from that point, you're not fielding someone who won't start. Then from there, you listen to like few of his strategies or his suggestions about who you should buy, and then now from there on, I make my own decisions depending on if I watched like because I watch EPL, so I also have like a bit of insight into
guys who have own ideas.
Yes, I have my own ideas. Like, it's not a copy paste basically. If I was copy pasting, maybe I'd have been higher because I think he had more points than me for sure, but not that far because I had like 2,500. The leaders had like 2,700 and something.
Yeah, 2,799. You were just about 291 points behind the winner, the global number one.
Yeah, so it's always like just like basically watching those videos bring other players into your scope. Like players who you're not even thinking about.
Yeah.
Then now from that, I'd go in like into FPL, not just pick any guys randomly or because he said. You go in and check their stats because you know how you can because I like did you start this season where they show you can see the fixtures coming and you can see the history of how that guy has been performing.
Yeah.
So from that you can judge if a guy is on form. Was it like a one-time thing? Because like at times when you check these leaderboards for FPL, guys who are high, but you get like most of the points were gotten from 2 game weeks.
That's true.
And they normally don't perform. You get so if you base your decision on that, you're gonna like pick someone you're just going to be annoyed about for quite some time.
Guys like Doku and Jacob Murphy.
Yeah,
and I think Tavernier.
I don't know if I could throw in the Chelsea striker in there called Will Jackson.
Nicholas Jackson.
I don't know because even he had that time he had a hat trick that really got him half the start.
Yeah, the one against Sakino.
Yeah, then he wasn't as consistent. You get so you just looking at the points, you think like this guy is a performer.
It's true.
I think you go in and check the stats. Like he wasn't like a bad asset to have, but the points he had were not like a true reflection at some point.
It wasn't like a Watkins or a Solanke.
Yeah, like he was like there was a point he was really high on the points. He looked like a prime striker kabisa, like you put him in the same bracket with Solanke and Watkins and Haaland in there. But he wasn't like in that caliber of strikers, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. So just I think this season what I did differently was seek information. I think that should be the takeaway. I seeked more FPL information.
Okay, so
yeah.
So you said there's a guy on YouTube. Of course, there's this podcast, and then
yeah, and then, I also got a few pointers from this, obviously.
And then are there any like blogs you follow or websites or maybe TikTok pages or Instagram pages that you would recommend?
That would be okay. Obviously, 38 weeks to go. The podcast you should follow, and because at least here you get a lot of different insights. Like if you hear me speaking, if you hear those Bwana G had very interesting insights of how he picks his team, and everyone like just had. I don't think there was like two guys who had the same strategies of how they go about their teams. There was can't remember who it was. Was it Don't Bottle This? Was it the one who said he does research?
He does a template or something like that.
Yes, yeah, and tries to predict who's going to be on form. Like there was some quite interesting ideas from this podcast, actually. Yeah.
And now, do you have a favorite game week or a least favorite game week, or could you name maybe your top 2 favorite game weeks or your worst 2 game weeks?
My best 2 are just this last one here. There was the game week 37 that I got 146. I think that's the highest I ever got FPL.
Yeah, that's quite high.
That was a crazy bench boost. Like that was a bench boost. You know, like in the past seasons, I never used to consider like bench boost as a big thing.
Yeah. Until now.
But yeah, like I think this season it all made sense. Like, okay, if I bench boost on a double game week, now that makes sense. Like if I could assemble that team so that everyone plays twice, like that would be crazy. You know, like the chances of not succeeding are very minimal.
Exactly.
But this is FPL, anything can happen.
It's true.
Yeah. There was that game week, and then I throw in game week 36 in there? Because that one I didn't have a chip, still got 100.
Oh, the other double game week?
No, it wasn't a double game week.
Oh, that was 34.
Yeah. It was just a regular game week. Somehow I got 100. I got 102. Yeah.
And what about worst decisions? I mean, worst game weeks?
Worst game week, was it 30? Was it in the 20s or 30s? Though that game week where I think like the average points was like 40. Was what that? No, it was 20.
There was one which was 12.
Yeah, I think that was a crazy one.
That was game week 29, the one for the free hit. The one where there were like four games being played.
Was it the one you played your free hit?
Yeah, that was.
No, I looked at that. I remember when you played the free hit, I was like, wow. But why did you play your free hit? I tried to reason through that free hit. I was like,
my logic at the time was, this is the game week that is going to boost me up the table. So I thought I was going to make changes that would get me like 80 and everybody's getting 12. And then I would close the gap to 7.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. That happened.
Exactly. If that happened, but fantasy is like, like they say, you make plans and God laughs, and God laughs, and that's what fantasy is. You make your plan, and then fantasy gods laugh at you.
Like my reasoning was because the games were few, and as you said, this is fantasy. You just don't know what will happen. So the fewer the game, the less your probability of being successful, because you're working with a very small pool. You get, rather than when there's like a massive double game week where there's so many games being played, the probabilities of things just going well is also higher because there are more games, and you're spreading your bet basically. in more games. Yeah.
Don't worry.
But I see what you are trying to do.
Yeah.
It's a very risky thing to do, but
Yeah, there was a risk and no reward.
enjoy.
What about you? Did you take any big risk this season?
This count, no, I didn't. I didn't. Maybe most of my moves were
Calculated.
Calculated, yeah. They were very calculated. I didn't take like many hits on points with transfer. I think the most I did were 8 during this last double game, because I was reasoning, okay, the players I have won't play. So if I take a -4, the player I bring in at least score more than 4. So that's how I went about it. And because they were playing two games, it was a bit higher. Like, okay, if they play 2 games, there's a higher probability they get more than 4 points, which makes the transfer worthwhile now.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question, because this kind of has risks. Like, for example, how did you know what made you decide to use your first wild card? And then your second wild card, bench boost and triple captain. Like, just walk me through those 4.
My first wild card, I think what happened was I had like a good team, and then I don't know what happened. It just stopped performing. And I went from one game away and those guys underperforming, and I had already seen like the trend of the guys who were now on form to around the time I brought in Palmer. So at that point, I just decided to change my team, and at least I didn't want to be on a slump, basically. So that's why I used my first wild card. My second one, I think I used that one.
Wait, just hold on. So was that before Christmas? So it had to have been before Christmas, because that's when it expired around.
Yes, it was before Christmas. It was way before Christmas. I think I used mine quite early.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't wait for too long. So I just decided, you know what? Let me set up the team to move forward. My second one, I used it to prep for a double game week. Yeah.
Okay. Also, you used it around game week 34 or something.
Oh, no. There was another double game week that was earlier than those ones, but in the second half of the season.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong. But
yeah, there were like 3 or 4 double game weeks. That makes sense.
Yeah. So the guys I brought in were to prepare for that double game week, because I didn't play a chip, or did I? Was it the one I played on Haaland? I didn't deliver the triple captain.
Oh, you used it on Haaland?
Yeah, I used it on Haaland. Didn't deliver.
It must have been one of those ones where it gives you for 24 or something like that.
I think he didn't only get 2 points, but he didn't deliver.
Yeah.
Like he blanked on one game week and maybe got an assist on the other one. I think that's what happened.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Then, yeah.
In fact, but no, your triple captain, you used it well. He gave you 30 points. He used it game week 25.
Yeah.
In fact,
I was expecting more.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He had one game. It was just like this one, where he had one game, he did nothing, and then he had a goal in the next one. So it was 10. So, but no, it was still good. You got 87 points. So that was a good use of it.
It wasn't bad. At least I was hoping for 100 points on that game. I think at that point I was like, with a possibility I wouldn't get 100 points this season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what about the free hit? When did you use the free hit? For a double game week as well?
Yeah, the free hit was for a double game week, where I managed to field everyone was on a double game week. So that worked out quite well for me.
So would you say when let's say, because the people who are listening to this who are going to try and learn something for the next season that comes, so would you say that you should plan to use your chips around double game weeks? Because I'm seeing your triple captain was a double game week, your free hit was a double game week, and your other wild card was a double game week.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it actually makes the most sense to use them when there's a double game week.
Maximum impact.
Yeah. Like for a free hit, especially like for a free hit, if you can constitute your whole team, like budgets are not even like at this point restricting you per se, because you can change the whole team and make everyone play twice. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
If everyone played once, you maybe have gotten 60, and now they're playing twice, and hope they even just get another 40. That's 100, which I'm sure would move you forward in the game for sure. And then also like a bench boost, if you can manage to make your team, make everyone plus the bench play twice. Also that will definitely push you forward.
Okay. And
then triple captain, if your captain plays twice and gets at least something from both games.
Yeah.
Like you see, like in this instance, because Haaland played twice, that's why I got the 10. But imagine if you only played the first game where he blanked and you triple captain, like you have 6 points from a triple captain. Imagine.
Yeah, that's not going to be helpful.
Yeah. So my strategy was for the chips, double game weeks. But when there was full impact, that's how come I didn't manage to use any of them during the first half of the season. Well, this time we didn't have did we have a double game with the first half?
No, they usually come after the cups when the FA Cup starts. The what's it, that one, the Community Cup, not community.
Yeah.
Worthington Cup. What is it called?
Carabao Cup.
That one, that League Cup. When that one starts reaching the final stages, that's when fixtures starts getting rearranged, and then when Champions League comes, fixtures start getting rearranged. So most of these tend to happen towards after Christmas, unless also there's some times when winter is heavy and the pitches get messed up. At least that's what used to happen.
Then they get postponed.
Okay. So now, tell me, which manager or managers did you consider your biggest competitors this season?
This season, to be honest, it was quite a tough season. I think how I've reached this 2-5 was because of Kina Leon, Kina Simona Jijua. For the longest time, there were the two guys who are above me. I think those also Mutune. Mutune was up. Yeah,
you four were you were fighting each other. It was a 4-league race.
Yeah. And I was always chasing. I was always there, number 3, number 4. I was always the one chasing for quite the longest time.
Do you think it's better to be chasing than to be chased? Or would you prefer to be at the top being chased?
Because it's not like the real Premier League. I prefer to be at the top being chased, basically.
And so how are you making decisions? Like, you have to catch up, but you can't lose. What kind of decision making goes into trying to maintain a chase without losing distance?
I think like the first thing you just have to do is just be consistent. Like if the top guy in your group is getting 90, try and be at least at 70. Like it shouldn't be guys are getting 90 and you got 40. You have to at least be at least above average. And if you maintain that for quite some time, you will find yourself in the running. So not drastic changes, just try to be consistent. I think my Achilles heel in this season was my captain choice. Like there's so many weeks I just chose the wrong captain.
Well, you can. I understand that one very much.
Like there was so many weeks. I remember there was the Palmer Hall. I think I missed on that captaincy altogether. Then there was even a game week I had him on the bench. It was so painful.
That one's very painful. I know. I lost, I think, roughly 40, 50 points from him being on my bench.
Yeah. So just trying to be consistent, just making sure you have like a good, a good all-round team, basically. A team that in your field isn't a team that has the possibility to get you 100 points and also has the possibility to get you 30 points.
What? I know you've already won and you're the winner, but what would you improve upon? What would you say were your weaknesses that you can strengthen for next season?
Number one is captain choice. Like, I need to, and like when the season started, I think I've made up my mind my captain would be Haaland. Like I was still in last season one. So for the longest time, and I wasn't alone. There were so many guys. We were captaining Haaland, come rain, come sun.
Yeah, I was one of them, Haaland maximalist.
Yes. So I think just having an open mind as to who is on form and who is not on form, and not what they did last season notwithstanding, is quite crucial. Quite crucial. Just making sure you have a captain that's giving you like a good point is quite crucial.
Okay.
And then the problem with fantasy, it's never the same. 2 seasons are never the same.
That's true.
Like this season we had midfield strong, basically.
Yeah.
The guys who had the most points were midfielders. The season before it was strikers. We'll be surprised next season it becomes its defenders. So just reading the league and seeing what's working in the league now.
Yeah.
Teams decided that they're going to defend better this season. So it's the order of the day. Yeah.
Okay.
So just trying to see like what's going on and early enough also, not letting it go too far.
Like reacting quickly, reacting early.
Yeah. Yes. Reacting quickly, reacting early. Yeah. And also maybe trying to capitalize on the teams that have been promoted. Not like there's like a trend that normally happens when these teams come up. There's either like the striker who's in that team.
Yes. Before
guys find out what he's about, he score a couple of goals here and there.
Like Morris.
Yeah. So like I remember I jumped on the Morris train at some point. I think I only got like 5 points for
Yeah, it was hit and miss. But that one I didn't feel bad about it because I knew I was gambling.
Yeah, and he also wasn't that expensive. He was a guy you could keep on the bench and not feel bad.
Exactly. I think he was 5.
Yeah.
So tell me, what advice would you give to managers aiming to win next season, to challenge you for your title next season?
Okay. First, join multiple FPL leagues. So that's the first thing you can do is you can join like multiple FPL leagues. Like, at times, like you can get inspiration from other leagues. Like, for instance, me, like 38 weeks to go, because I was chasing these guys for so long. The other leagues, the second guy after me has 2,100. So you see, the inspiration of chasing guys on this league has made me like way ahead from the other guys in the other leagues I'm in. So imagine if you're in like a stronger league, not better, a stronger league than this one. There's that motivation to chase up and higher. Then there's also something I normally do once in a while when you go into FPL and check the status tab.
Yeah.
They have this tab that shows the best league.
Yes.
Yeah, they have like the number 1 league in FPL, the average is 27.34. Yeah, that's the top 5 league, the average is 2,700. The least is 2,710.
That means everybody's
active. Yes, and everyone like crazy performing. Those are those leagues where you slip up one game which you never catch.
Yeah,
the guys that go on. So you just go there, check those leagues, enter those leagues, check what are those guys doing. Go in there, check the top guys in those leagues, what are they doing, what are they buying, and give you some insights to who you want in your team. Because you see, like when you check the guy who's leading the league in FPL, the highest point, and then you check their team, and they normally have like some weird picks in there, and you wonder how did they even think of buying those players. Yeah. So maybe they are seeing something that you haven't seen. They've analyzed the league better than you, or better than most of us. So just check, see what those guys are doing, and then now I'll try as with your team. You know, the goodness with FPL, it's a fantasy league, so you can do whatever. It's not like Arteta, like once you got Harvard, you have to make it work. You know, it's true. Like how long did we used to diss that guy?
It's true.
Yeah.
If you listen to the early episodes of this thing, I used to hate on him, and now for like the last 6-7 game weeks, he's been in my team. I even captained him once.
Yeah. So yeah, just basically just look for information.
Okay.
Because you can't watch all these games.
No.
So you have to look for information to the guys who are watching these games, because they're actually making money from watching those games. They're podcasting, they're doing YouTube videos. So that's part of their research. So they've done the research. So all you can do now is listen and now try and implement the knowledge you've gotten from them.
That makes sense. So now, having said that, are there any players that you've penciled in to start for you next season?
No, I never do that. The only guy who's for sure going to be in my team is still Haaland.
Okay. After that, it's anybody else. That one, after that, it's Haaland and others.
Yeah. If you played FPL for a while, you know that there are a lot of players who perform one season and don't perform the next season. There are many.
It's true.
I wouldn't be surprised for even, let's say, Palmer to follow. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see Watkins not scoring as much.
Yeah.
Solanke not scoring as much. Isak not scoring as much. Yet. So you wait to see who's being bought, which managers are coming, and then try and make a decision from there.
Okay. And my final question to the champion.
Yeah.
How are you going to celebrate your victory?
My victory. This victory was my consolation prize for Arsenal not winning the league.
Listen.
You know that feeling you have when a game week is going on and your team has lost.
Yeah.
And it was one of those like games you were banking on a win, and now you're feeling down. And now the only other thing you have to follow in FPL, and now you start supporting other teams because you have those players in your team. It kind of softens the heart a bit. Like, okay, my team lost, but I got 90. It's okay. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say congratulations to you, our first champion.
Thank you.
I'm sure this is not the last time we'll be talking, and I look forward to many more conversations with you. I hope we can all learn from you.
Yeah, I'm hoping that next season we manage to bring in more guys, maybe league the 38 weeks to go league bigger and better.
We shall.
Yeah, you know, like at times when you're many guys, make it more dynamic, more competitive. Hope to hear from like the weekly winners and hear their ideas on how they choose their teams, how their strategies. Quite interesting just to hear how from different people and their strategies for the league changes, like even at times how you look at the league. But I think there's a guy from last season, he was talking about like just our league, how it was, and I think he mentioned me and said like, I haven't been at the top, but I've always been around there. So that's consistent, which made so much sense. And was actually like how my strategy was just being consistent. You get like, yeah. So you can learn even just quite a bit and just observing other managers in the league on and how they go about their business of fantasy.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. No, because I intend to push it wider, to invite more people, to maybe push it in different forums to build. Now that there's something here. And I'm sure we will be a stronger league this coming season than we were.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. Until the next season, I hope you enjoy your summer of being a champion.
Thank you. And also congratulations to you. You've done this quite consistently throughout the 38 weeks. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but yeah, congrats on that whole doing this for the whole season. And thank you. Wishing you all the best for next season.
Thank you very much. And in fact, I was thinking at the beginning of the season, we should have, me and you will do an opening episode, just that you can talk about how you're approaching the season and things like that. What do you think about that?
Too. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Perfect. You heard it here. We will have our first episode, me and Victor, as we approach the next season.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Have a great summer. Enjoy the Euros. And we'll talk to you soon.
Till next season.
All right.
You guys.
Okay.